I'm Craig Perlowin. I live here in South Las Vegas with my brother Bruce Perlowin, and we're just showing you here how we live just in a normal neighborhood, which we're about 75 miles from Dolan Springs, which is our model for our Kins domain. We have a house with its own 5 acres of land that we subdivided into two and a half acre parcels, because the Kins domain is to be built on two and a half acres of land. And we're going out today. We go out every weekend because we're starting to do our planning.
Hi, I'm Bruce Perlowin, and we live in a normal neighborhood here in Las Vegas, and we're just about now to drive 75 miles from this house to our sample Kins domains, which we're building out in Dolan Springs. So we're about to leave, and one of the things we want to demonstrate is the economics, every nuance of the economics involved in building a Kins domain. So commuting from a city out to your Kins domain is one of those economic considerations. In this particular aspect, we're showing exactly how much it costs in gas to drive out 75 miles from Las Vegas to Dolan Springs and back again. So let's say it costs $2,000 in gas over, let's say, a year period, okay? And we won't know, but we will determine that. Well, $2,000 in gas times 100 Kins domains is $200,000 a year. Now the concept of maybe building your own biodiesel plant, a small one or a big one, really starts to make sense. But until you document every aspect of every iota of the economics involved, in this one it's the economics of commuting back and forth from a city, which is a standard thing that people do. They go out on the weekends and come back to the city. Makes a big difference. Numbers tell a story. And if you take the numbers and you add them all up, it will tell you a story and give you a direction on what happens when a group of people are all spending the same amount of money. So here you see what it cost us to fill up our Dodge Caravan. You'll see the mileage, and you'll see how long it took us to go back out there and back, and what the cost is. Now, we've already determined, just for those who are mathematically inclined, that we can go from here to the house and back on one fill-up. All right, exactly, with 30 miles left over. So that's a nice even round number based on this receipt and going out there, back, out there, and back. That's the cost of gas to get to the Kins domain for us. Thank you.
I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. All around me a voice was sounding, this land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining...
Okay, here's a drawing of a typical Kins domain for people that want to build their Kins domain. You'd notice that 2/3 are trees. You have your pond, you have your organic gardens. Here's some more organic grain. You have your natural beehive. The family tree is probably this one over here, and your little house where you go and you have natural childbirth. Some outbuildings and some stuff, a little bridge across the pond, some pasture land. Again, notice the walkway between the living fence around the Kins domains. Here looks like they have orchard and fruit trees, the same as we want to do here. So again, this is just an example of what a typical Kins domain looks like in its full development. Okay, so here we've made it so that when you walk out your front porch, you'll be able to walk down into the first 40 by 40 acre garden. Okay, so now this outlines the second garden that you saw on that picture. Okay, so this is the second 40 by 40 garden, which will be rototilling starting tomorrow. And here's the third 40 by 40 garden. Again, think back to the picture and the description I showed you on the wall. All right, and here's the fourth garden. All right, now this is the beginning of your Kins domains. We mark it off. We have our gardens marked off. All right, now over here, we have the beginning of your living fence with these trees. We're going to be planting Paulownia trees, which is a very fast-growing tree. We'll talk about that later. And here is the section where I have that little forest where you're going to have a dome tent in the middle of it. All right, if you notice, there's a very windy area here, the house. So this entire section here is the free-range chicken thing. What you didn't see in the picture is a second chicken coop, which is that little building over there. We'll turn that into a little chicken coop. Of course, we have to learn how to build chicken coops, but we will. And so the chickens will go there, and they'll go in there, and they'll hang out, and they'll be buddies and hang out in the yard together. If you look back behind us, you notice that we have basically a clean slate. It's nothing but desert land. We'll clean up the wood, we'll clean up the trailer, and we're going to video this whole thing live streaming from an entire nothing here. In the front, we have starting with the house. Here we're starting with nothing, a clean slate on how to build a Kins domain. So let's walk over here, and we're going to show you the second series of gardens. So you can. Okay, so now here's the back Kins domain, and as you saw on the map, we have 4 40 by 40 organic gardens in this section. So we have porch here. We didn't mark this one out quite as nice as the other one because we're just going to rototill this. And we may have to put wood or some kind of fencing to keep the wind from blowing the soil. George, our expert, will be out here tomorrow. He'll tell us how to do it. You got 40 by 40. Where that travel trailer is, you can see there some marked off area on the bottom. And that's again that section where we ring the Paulownia trees and make a little sort of circle on the side. That could be for drum circles, it could be for meditation, it could be for just hanging out in the woods, surrounded by all these trees. Now when we get done here, the wind factor, which is pretty aggressive in this area, will be cut dramatically by the trees that we plant all over the place. So we could be standing here in the future with this much wind, but we won't be feeling it. We've done studies of wind and how to build trees to make the wind go above your head and have a nice comfortable environment here. And looking back, you can see the water tanks, the barn, which will be which will end up being a chicken coop, the house, and all the other things you saw on that diagram on what we're going to build and how we're going to build it will be complete. And again, we will have live streaming video so you can see every step of the way what we do as we do it, and we call that Kins 101. So that'll be the model Kins domains for this big, huge development that we're doing over across the road on the land which is called Golden Ranch, or we call a section of that Hidden Valley. And with that, welcome to Kins Domain 101, the beginning of how to build your own Kins domain from scratch. Thank you for being here.